Hello everyone, this is Ronnie. I've not bought a watermelon in a long time, and I thought I'd make I saw this one, I thought I'd buy it, see what it's like. The thing about watermelons, they're not all that good a lot of the time throughout the year, so you sort of have to wait for good ones. I don't know if this is good, but it kind of appealed to me, so we'll cut it open. I just cut the thing open like that, don't do anything particularly special. And then there's the colour. It should, to me, like good melons, a lot of people do these things where they want to tap the melon to try and hear the sound of it or something. The essence, they look at the end of it to see if there's like a sun blemish or something. So I don't know, it doesn't look that great, but we'll try it out. It's very juicy. It's decent, it's not particularly sweet, but it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. I believe fruit quality in the UK is better than people think. You just have to know when to pick it. You can't pick melons all the way throughout the year and think they're always going to be good. Same with a lot of things. I've got some stains from eating a lot of peppers. Right, so I want to talk to you about melon belly because someone sent me a message about it, and melon belly is a phenomenon connected with eating melons, or even watermelon belly, some people call it. And what happens is people eat melons, and it is connected with other fruits as well, and then they experience pain. It doesn't last a long time, but they experience a pain or discomfort. For me, it's usually around here. For some people, it's maybe further up. For some people, it can even go into their shoulders. It can even go into their back. And it's called melon belly. That's what we call it. Maybe some people feel it in the belly, but I don't know. Some people think that it means like that, like a bloating. It's not that. That's not melon belly. Melon belly is the pain and discomfort. It happens when you eat it very quickly and you're not paying attention to your body's signals. So a guy got in touch with me and he said he was asking if I still got that. If I still got, he got it after eating mangoes, and I can get it after eating mangoes. I can get it after eating apples, or definitely apple juice. I can get it after grapes. I can get it after mangoes, and after melons, and maybe after a few other fruits. And he was sort of saying if fruits are our ideal food, sort of melons an ideal food, then why is that happening? Or mangoes an ideal food? Why are we getting that response? And I don't really know the answer to that, but to me what's happening, to be honest, is that people are trying to eat fruit with the habits they picked up from cooked food, and fruit is not like cooked food. So with cooked food and with processed foods, people learn like to eat really quickly, just more really quick, and you can do that with cooked food and it doesn't give you melon belly. But you can't do that with fruit. You can't just shovel it all in as fast as you like. You have to pay attention to your body. And you have to pay attention to this area. You know, you have to pay attention to that area and sort of feel what's going on. And if you have one bite of melon and you start to feel something a little bit uncomfortable, then you stop eating. And if you're eating melon fast and you start to feel any level of discomfort, you stop. You don't keep going. You have to pause. And if you don't, you can develop this melon belly feeling, and it's really uncomfortable. It doesn't last too long, but it feels like a lifetime when it's happening because it's very uncomfortable. But you can't eat fruit the way that you ate potato chips. You can't shovel it in unconsciously. You have to eat it consciously and slower. Some fruits it doesn't happen with, but you have to be conscious. So, why does melon belly happen? My personal feeling is that it is simply a reaction of the fruit with the acid in your stomach or whatever is in your stomach right there, and gas is emitted, and that somehow gets trapped in this area down here. And the trapped gas, whatever it is, however that works, it puts pressure on the nerves. And that's why people feel it sometimes all the way up to here, because this is an entire nerve system. So it might be happening here, but it's radiating up into your shoulders, into your back. And to me, that's the simplest explanation of what it is. And the reason that you can tell that is because if you're able to burp, if you're able to burp up some air, it tends to lessen. And if you keep on doing it, it tends to lessen. So that's all I think it is. Sometimes I've tried to move around, go on the ground and sort of move around and try and get it moving and all that, and it kind of helps a little bit sometimes. But if you can burp up, and basically when you're eating fruit, if you feel the need to let out some gas, you have to let that happen. Otherwise, it's gonna cause pressure. So, you know, why does it happen? Why aren't we better adapted to these foods, or why aren't they just easy? And well, I don't know specifically. It doesn't happen with certain fruits. It might be the case that these are not ideal fruits. It might be the case that melons aren't an ideal food. You know, you could say that if you like. I don't know. But to me, it's just that you have to unlearn bad habits. You know, it's just the same thing as, oh, why can't you eat an unlimited amount of fruit? Well, no, there's a limit. Like, there's a point where your body says, I don't want any more. There's a point where it doesn't taste as good. And you can't go beyond these natural limits. And so you can't eat too fast either for certain foods. That's all I really see it as. It's a very annoying experience. It's one of the worst things that happens on this diet. And everyone's experienced it. And you just have to eat slower and be more conscious of what you're eating. That's all it is. And if it starts to happen, you become super conscious of it starting to happen. If it starts to happen, you stop. Give yourself 5 minutes. And that's it. That's how you get rid of it. That's how you stop it from happening. That's how you, I mean, I don't think I've seriously had it in the last few years. And I used to get it when I'd be on the floor. So I've not had that, I don't think, in the last few years, or for quite a long time. I might have had it once, but I'm so conscious of it now that I don't let it happen. As soon as I feel it, as soon as I feel that little tingle of discomfort, I'm stopping. I stop eating straight away. Now, there was a theory going around, and it's one of Don Bennett's ideas, that it was to do with chromium deficiency. And apparently chromium is involved in sugar metabolism. And the way he says it is that foods, when you're growing food, there's different nutrients that get taken up into the food, and chromium is one of the last ones that gets taken up into the plant, and therefore a lot of foods are lacking chromium, so people get chromium deficient, and this doesn't happen, and therefore you can supplement with chromium and it helps. Now, I don't know if that works. I've heard people say they've tried it, varying results, but personally I don't ascribe to that belief, that idea. I don't think that that's what it is at all, personally, because simply if it was chromium deficiency and people were really chromium deficient, then it would occur with probably all fruits. It would maybe occur with the fruits that are to do with, that have more sugar in them, like bananas. It would maybe happen with them more, but it doesn't. It only happens with certain fruits, certain juicy fruits. So it doesn't make sense to me. I also think chromium deficiency would probably have other symptoms, which would maybe be worse than tiny discomfort with melon belly once in a while. So I can't go along with that. I also doubt that anyone's actually chromium deficient. So that's not my position. I simply think it is discomfort that happens when you eat too quickly with certain foods and creates trapped gas, and that gas puts pressure on the nerves, and you have to be aware of that. It's very uncomfortable. It can almost feel like you're dying or having a heart attack. I mean, it can be so uncomfortable if it's at the most extreme. First time it ever happened to me, eating really quickly something, a smoothie or something, then went to, I think I was driving my ex-girlfriend home at the time, and I was driving along and this was coming on and I had no idea what it was, and I felt terrible, you know. So it's a real thing. You've probably experienced it, but it's not a serious thing. Just learn to eat more consciously, a bit slower. It's never going to stop happening as far as I'm concerned. 10 years on a high fruit diet, I can still get it. If I was to start eating this really quickly, I would get it. Probably, for sure. One interesting thing I would say is, I think that I've definitely had a situation where I've eaten certain things and then I've had melon or whatever after it, and I almost couldn't get melon belly. I don't know why, but I think when I used to eat like more nuts, if I had nuts and then I had melon, like I would never get the melon belly. I think. I might be wrong about that. It might have been some other food. It might have been tomatoes or something, but I've definitely, and there's an interesting one. Tomatoes, I never got it with tomatoes. Never got it with tomatoes. So that's melon belly for you. It's not a serious thing. It probably will happen to you. It'll probably feel really bad, and you've got to slow down, and that's basically it. Thank you for watching. If you want more tips about the raw food lifestyle, you can get my book, The Raw Food Lifestyle 101. There's a link down below. And there's over 200 pages of information. It comes with 6 other bonuses, and probably worth your time to go and check it out and get it. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video.